Sony has had a ton of success within the past 12 months, as not only did Spider-Man No Way Home gross almost $2 billion via Box Office Mojo, but Uncharted struck a chord with general audiences with hopes of seeing missing characters in Uncharted 2. Though the 2022 video game movie wasn't all that faithful to its source material, it was a fun adventure movie thanks to the dynamic duo between Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. Though Sony has yet to confirm the sequel, it still has a ton of confirmed movies and TV shows based on its exclusive PlayStation video games in development. Between a samurai game that could be turned into a historical epic and a violent destruction derby that could give Mortal Kombat a run for its money, these adaptations have so much potential. God of War. There have been rumors of a God of War movie being in development for years now, and while it would make for a great mythological epic directed by Robert Eggers, following the incredible The Northman, it's no longer getting the movie treatment. However, that doesn't mean that an adaptation of the ultra-violent adventure games is going to happen. While it is to film, a God of War series is in development at Amazon Prime Video. Most Redditors and fans of the video game series are actually concerned given Prime Video's track record, but CURSE3242 is cautiously optimistic. The Redditor notes, "There are so many cool things to explore here. The big snakes, the glowing swords, the walking on one plank of wood, falling, puzzles, trolls. This series will need a ton of budget. At the very least, considering Amazon Prime produces The Boys, there's nothing to worry about when it comes to faithfully adapting the more graphic sequences." Gran Turismo. While most Redditors are joking about the director for the upcoming adaptation of the racing game Gran Turismo, Reddit user Grosjeaner has high hopes for it. The Redditor claims, "I love Neil Blomkamp movies, so I'm excited for this. A simple video game movie is a strange choice for Blomkamp, who is known for using high concepts like alien invasions and dystopian futures to comment on environmental and social inequality, but his movies have some of the best visual effects ever." Racing video games have been adapted before, but it didn't work out quite so well, as Need for Speed was one of the worst reviewed movies of 2014. The problem Need for Speed had, and the problem that Gran Turismo will have, was telling a compelling story with an exciting protagonist. Gran Turismo is a straightforward racing game with no story whatsoever. However, it seems like Blomkamp already has the story ironed out, which is apparently inspired by a true story. The Last of Us, though there's a lot of skepticism surrounding Sony's video game movies and TV shows, given that the company isn't all that great at quality control, there's a lot of positivity surrounding The Last of Us, which is based on the best survival horror game of all time. The rights belong to HBO, which is the gold standard of mature television series. Whether it's The Sopranos or Succession, the network is on another level from the rest. Gardens is most excited about the project, noting, "Looking forward to it. The casting is fantastic, and the games are probably one of the easiest to translate to the screen in TV format." The Last of Us series is a lot further along than any other Sony project, and it's one that viewers will see first, as the show, which stars Pedro Pascal and Nick Offerman, has wrapped shooting on location in Calgary. The horror drama will no doubt provide the scares and will exact a heavy emotional toll, and all signs point to the series being a masterpiece, but fans won't find out until early 2023. Jak and Daxter is one of the many beloved platformers from the 2000s, and if MCU fans love Rocket, there's no better furry companion than Daxter, who is more excitable and trigger-happy than the Marvel raccoon. The series could make a great movie, and one is in development with Ruben Fleischer in the director's chair. Sony and Fleischer clearly have a great relationship, as he directed Sony's Venom, and he also directed another Sony video game movie, the newly released Uncharted. However, that's exactly why a lot of Redditors don't think the filmmaker should adapt Jak and Daxter. Uncharted is an enjoyable adventure movie, but that's only if viewers are willing to look past the fact that it is completely unfaithful to the source material and fans are worried that could happen to another great franchise. But Dark Academy is more optimistic than everyone else, and they even believe that Jak and Daxter could be great because Fleischer is at the helm. The Redditor argues, "I've seen Uncharted and I actually enjoyed it, as did a lot of people." He's also responsible for Zombieland, which is a great film. Ghost of Tsushima became an instant classic video game when it was released in 2020, and a movie adaptation was quickly greenlit following the game's success. John Wick director Chad Stahelski is currently attached to direct the film, and that alone is enough to be excited about the movie. SMKM is the most excited, commenting, This has potential. As long as they don't change the story beats too much and just stick to the game's plot as much as possible, this could easily be a great movie, let alone a video game movie." John Wick was one of the most influential action movies of the decade, and Stahelski has outdone himself with each consecutive sequel in the series when it comes to the action sequences. With the John Wick filmmaker at the helm, Ghost of Tsushima could be the first truly great video game movie and one of the best historical epics ever. However, it isn't exactly clear when the movie will actually get produced, as Stahelski is still putting the finishing touches on John Wick 4, and after that, Hess attached to direct 7 other movies. Twisted Metal. Most video games are incredibly difficult to adapt because they have some absolutely wild concepts that defy the limits of filmmaking. And it's only thanks to advancements in digital effects that movies like 2021's Mortal Kombat are possible. And now, Twisted Metal can finally be adapted, which has one of the most fantastical concepts ever. The video game will become a TV show available on Peacock, which will seemingly be animated. The game is about a man who can grant people wishes, but he doesn't just dish them out. Instead, he makes people compete in a destruction derby called Twisted Metal, and it isn't just ordinary civilians who compete, but psychopaths and serial killers. Maestro Jad notes, "I'm pumped. Sweet Tooth to the rescue." The Redditor is referring to a gargantuan man who wears a clown mask and drives a doomsday ice cream truck, and he'll be voiced by Will Arnett. Horizon is one of the biggest AAA games for the current PlayStation consoles, and it's getting adapted into a Netflix series. If any adaptation needs a big budget, it's Horizon: Forbidden West. The game is set in a dystopian future full of robots and creatures, and it looks absolutely stunning. HIFIMAN3878 mentions, "I'm so excited about this. There's so much opportunity here to do something amazing because the lore and story GG created for Horizon is incredible." Luckily, even though the streamer is losing subscribers every which way, Netflix's pockets are rent empty. And while its movies generally get slammed by critics, the platform's series are second only to the ones on HBO. Epic series like The Witcher and the newly released The Sandman are some of the most watched and most acclaimed shows currently running, so Horizon is in safe hands.